What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today, BTC, USD. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. Here we are. Here we are dropping at $84,200 on this Friday, the 25th of, wait, is it, no, sorry, the 28th. I was looking at the year. It's 2025. 28th of March. We had a rather boring week, as expected, and are dropping now on Friday. I was thinking it'd be a little bit later on Friday, but I mean, here, 9 hours left in the day. I guess it is later on Friday. But to be completely fair, I think this whole day has been a bit of a drop day. And we could have dropped at any point this week. We could have dropped a little bit later. Any of that's all possible. But I do think that this is the beginning, the commensation, the ignition of prices to go down to $74,000 to $70,000, if not a little bit lower. The specific area I have in mind is something around 72 to 71K, something in this zone right here. And I think we will see this over the days to come. I really do. Anybody who's calling for this to be a low, you might be proven right. It's very possible. From a low to a high here, hitting the 382 is a common area to bounce from when working your way, continuing going higher, right? I think, let's see here. If we take this and we look here, you bounced off the 382 area here. You take a low to high here and you bounced right off of this 382 last time. Could you do it again? Sure, absolutely you could. And you could go even a little bit lower. What would be incriminating for the bears that they're taking over here, or incriminating to the bullish effect, I guess. I don't know what words to use here. From a high to a low here, if we do close, below $83,300 on a daily closing basis, it's over. You're going down, right? This 382 is different than this 382, though they're very much in the same area, to be completely fair, right? This one's just a little bit higher. You can go below that 382, but you can't really go below this 382. If you go, I would even go as far as saying you don't even need to close below here if you just go below here, because then you're taking out your productiveness in the fibs. But whatever, time will tell. I think regardless of my opinions, the knife in the heart would be a price to close below $83,300, $83,250, somewhere around that range. If the day today or over the coming days closes below there, it's very convincing to me that we are going lower. And I'm already pretty convinced, right? I've been convinced for a second now. But if you're in denial still, if you think there's still hope, that's fine. That's up to you. $80,700 is the line where you are basically crossing that denial threshold. If we do close below this level here, you are absolutely in denial if you don't think that we're going lower. And again, the target area that I'm expecting is 71 to 72K, but we could go lower. We could stop at higher prices. You never know. Let's look at Grok here, right? I asked, did Trump's administration have war information leaked? Yes, right, and I'm sure a lot of you are already aware of this, but I think that the media, the tabloids, the headlines, they're all blowing this up bigger than it is, right? Because we already knew about this conflict. We already knew about the intentions to bomb the Houthi, not Houthi, what is it? Yeah, it is Houthi group in Yemen. Like, this isn't news. This isn't news. Maybe some sensitive information got leaked, but all that's going to do is put that's gonna put a stop in their current plans if there were like specific days and times for them to get attacked. Let me just read this first before I give my opinion. Yes, there have been reports of war-related information being leaked during Donald Trump's administration. One notable incident occurred in March 2025. That was, within the last 24 hours. During Trump's second term, when senior officials inadvertently included Jeffrey Goldberg, the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic. Yeah, inadvertently. It was an accident. They included him on accident. I don't think they did. I think it was intentional for whatever reason. In a Signal group chat, how do you do that, right? It's like, I don't even know, man. How? We just got him on speed dial. We just have him in our contact list, and we accidentally added him. We added everybody else. Is there another Jeffrey Goldberg in the military or something, maybe? This chat, dubbed the Houthi PC small group, involved decisions about U.S. military strike plans against the Iran-backed Houthi rebels in Yemen. According to Goldberg's account, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth shared operational details, including targets, weapons, and timing, 2 hours before the strikes took place on March 15th. The White House confirmed the authenticity of the chat, but downplayed its significance, asserting that no classified information was shared. Well, yeah, if it was classified information, then they would have to go after Jeffrey Goldberg and go after the people that leaked it, right? Because, I don't know if, even if you receive this as an editor, are you allowed to share this? Like, isn't that you're sharing sensitive information about the United States? Like, people, I know, just time out, right? People are upset that someone in the administration leaked this information, and as they should be, as you should be. But what about the guy who's just doing his job? Like, dude, you're literally leaking sensitive information. Like, why? Why not wait for the attacks to happen, and then you could share your story? You know what I mean? You could, people would still eat that up even after the attacks happened. It seems intentional. It all seems like it was a planned thing to me, to some reason. But I don't know, if I received military information and then I leaked it on the web. I feel like that's treacherous behavior on my behalf personally, even if I received it by accident. I don't know. Who am I to say that, though? White House, yes, asserting that no classified information was shared. However, this, which would then imply that that there's no treacherous traitorness going on, just an accident. However, this incident sparked bipartisan criticism and raised concerns about national security protocols, and some arguing it may have violated laws like the Espionage Act. Well, yeah, that's what I'm thinking here. Additionally, during Trump's first term, unless it wasn't on accident, unless it was part of a plan. Of course, they wouldn't go after him if he was part of the plan, or if he's a patsy. That sucks for him. Additionally, during Trump's first term, there were earlier instances of leaks. For example, in September 2021, General Mike Milley, then chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, confirmed he had provided details of Trump's presidency to journalists for books about the administration. Though these leaks were more about internal dynamics. Yeah, whatever. So I think we got the point there, right? I don't think that it's that big of a deal. I think if you're reading the headlines or anything, World War III is about to happen, America's going to war. You guys, this is stuff that we knew about well in advance before this happened, right? Maybe the exact details we weren't aware of, but if because of this, you think that now we're screwed, this is it. This is the piece of straw. The what is it? The I don't even know. The hay that broke the camel's back, right? You think this is what's going to cause us into a bear market and turmoil and Bitcoin's dead? You need to just breathe, touch grass, right? If you're in a desert, touch sand. If you're on a beach, touch sand. Nothing wrong with that. We're at $84,100 right now, and we're likely going lower. Even before all this negative news, quote unquote, came out, whether it was intentional or not, came out. It was very highly anticipated that we would drop down to this area. We were going to break out one way or another, and I was definitely leaning on the downside. I know that there were some people that were leaning on the downside, but I've been saying over the past few days, guys, that a lot of people are misconstrued whenever it comes to the sentiment, right? People are in denial, and this happens, right? So check yourself next time if this was you. If you're thinking that you know something about sentiment because you have this tool that everybody has access to. This is a beginner website, coinmarketcap.com, and of course I use it too, right? But it's a beginner website. Beginners will find their way here, and then they'll think they know something because, oh, nope, the market sentiment is fearful. Clearly the market sentiment is fearful, right? If everybody's fearful and we're about to break out one way or another, what way do you think we're going to go? We're going to go up. But if you do your own research like I did on x.com, you can see that the data is actually like half and half, with the bulls having the majority. Actually, it's more like a 55-60% bullish case, and then a 40% 45% bearish case. The bulls think we're going to new all-time highs. A lot of the bears think that the bull market's dead and that we're in a bear market and we're going to prices below 60K. I'm more of a moderate in this sense because I don't think either of those things are going to. I think that inevitably we are going to new all-time highs. I don't think that the bull market's dead. I just don't think that we're done going down yet, right? We're going to go. A lot of people, genuinely, it was surprising how many people I found believe that we're going below 60K. I don't think we're going anywhere near 60K. And if you have people who are absurdly bullish, who weren't expecting the downside to happen, what are they going to do? Well, they're going to look to the bears, quote unquote, who are right. What are most of the bears saying? Well, we're going to 60K. So now if everybody's focused, and maybe not everybody is, there's still a chance we could find support here. We haven't broken any serious structure yet, right? We still have those key areas to break through, 80,700 most specifically, but $83,200, $83,300. If we close below there on a daily basis, that'll really be condemning too. People are going to start to shift, and they're going to look at the people who are bears for the right information, the correct calls, which the majority of the bears are calling for prices down here. So you're going to see a flop in emotions. You're going to see that fear come up more. And as we progress lower, people are going to capitulate and they're going to anticipate lower prices. But really, we're just going to bounce. We're probably going to bounce right in this area is my thoughts. 71 to 72K. Makes sense to me. Lower highs, and there's going to be a bunch of people who are expecting that we bounce here too, rationally minded people. But in times like this, you don't really have rationality come to mind. There's a lot of people right now, I think, and this is just a theory, I don't have proof to back this up, but I have a theory that there's a lot of people who are counting on this low. They were counting on this to break to the upside. They're counting on it. So now that they're what they were counting on, what they really had beliefs and hopes for at the end of the day, now that that's not happening, they're going to have emotions come over them, and emotions are a very tricky thing to deal with whenever you're in circumstances like this. So I don't really think I have anything else to say, guys. You understand what the plan is, right? You understand what we need to see for that to happen. It looks like we're going down right now. The average altcoin will probably drop twice as much as Bitcoin. So look at your altcoin. If you're looking at your altcoin and it's down a day, Bitcoin's going to drop 14 to 15%. Just assume you could probably drop anywhere from, I'd say, 24% to 30%, somewhere in that area for the average altcoin. Yes, even with their current drops. So that's the expectation right now. And anything can happen. Bitcoin could, maybe most altcoins see their drop first and then they bounce. And then as Bitcoin's still continuing to drop, they continue to drop too. Maybe it's not exactly as I'm laying it out to be, but I would just prepare yourselves for basically like a 24 to 30% drop across the board, even from the current prices, even with what we have already. So that's my thoughts. Not every coin will drop that much. There'll be plenty of coins that don't. In fact, I wonder, how's XRP doing in this? Let's check you out, XRP. Down 6%. Wow, double a bit. If XRP is doubling Bitcoin, the average altcoin is going to drop more than double. But this is just to start off the day, right? I don't think that it'll persist this way. We'll see how it goes. I'm done talking, right? The main thing that I'm just trying to say here is where the key targets are to break through and where we inevitably are going if we do end up going lower. And I think that we will. So that's all I got. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Yeah. Yeah. Higher highs in the RSI, lower highs in the price, hidden bearish divergence. Weekly RSI rejecting the same areas that we were finding support at before and a little bit of resistance at before back here. We might come down and form a double bottom. I think that'd be nice, actually. I don't anticipate that this low is going to be long lived. I don't think that it will be. I think it'll be abrupt, it'll be fast, and if you blink, if you sleep for a week and a half, you're gonna miss it. It's gonna come right back up. But this is all, I think, really in reflection of April 2nd, right? That's the real day to kind of concern yourselves with. April 2nd is the day, and once that happens, I think that is when we'll get our resolution. Okay, so this is not going to be a long-lived event. We don't have much time left. And then from then on, we will begin to recoup. April will be a month of recovery, and into May and June, we will start to really blow up and see some phenomenal growth. I've got nothing else, guys, for real this time. I'm done. Okay, bye-bye.